About 8 years ago, I found myself standing outside of an office building smoking, and I wasn't a regular smoker. I just needed a reason to walk away from my desk. I was about 15 kilos heavier, deeply unhappy, and in the middle of a burnout. My job that I loved became such a chore that I couldn't give myself permission to walk away from a desk, and I knew something had to change drastically. In this video, I'll share with you the strategies that I use to manage stress, and hopefully they help you so you don't find yourself standing outside in the middle of a burnout and feeling lost. And now that I'm 47, I find out that stress hits even harder and some of the techniques that I used in the past no longer work. In this video, I'll share with you exactly the strategies that I use today, and after you turn 40, I think these become very important, so please stay tuned until the end of the video. Hi, my name is Jay Martinov, and on this channel we are about thriving as you age, living actively, enjoying life, no matter what age you are. One of the things that I learned through this experience is that prevention is a much better way of dealing with stress than actually trying to actively manage it when you are in the middle of a burnout. And once I went through this burnout experience, I thought that any stress can be bad for you, but then I learned to recognize that there is a good stress and a bad stress. What do I mean by that? The good stress is enough load on you that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, helps you grow, and it is overwhelming evidence that that stress is actually good for us. However, if the stress is crippling, it will gradually grind you down despite your best intentions to be resilient. My suggestion to you is learn to recognize the crippling stress. Heed to the body signals that it will give you plenty of when you're heading on that burnout road. And by the way, my personal recommendation that helped me to revisit the stress the way I saw it before is Kelly McGonigal book and amazing TED Talk she did a while back. The signals that I'm personally paying attention to is when I start getting the headaches, my injury from the gym don't heal fast enough, or I cannot sleep at night thinking about project at work or something else I've been working on. And if I feel I'm heading that way, that's when you need to take a break and just reprioritize what you're working on or find other ways to put the brakes on and slow down your road down the burnout. As we age, we become truly who we are. The way you are at home with your loved ones and the way you are at your workplace, or maybe performing in front of audience, or maybe walking down the street, are different people. And when I was younger, I had to maintain different personas, but what I found is that authenticity brings real you. That's how you find true connections, and that's how you flourish at what you do. And wearing a persona takes a lot of energy. As we get older, we realize that there is a lot of power in being authentic, and once you stop wearing those personas, once you loosen up your mask a little bit, and the gap between who you are in your natural state versus who you are in your work situation or wherever you get in stress, it becomes much easier to be. On my personal note, what I started doing, for instance, I started caring less what people think of my appearance. If you watch some of my videos from a couple of years back, you will see I had a full-grown black hair, and I didn't have a single gray hair in my beard and my hair. But now I embrace the fact that we're aging, and I just stopped doing that. Yes, it probably added a few years on my looks, but at the same time, I think a part of it also comes with a different part of my authentic self. Simple changes like this will help you to embrace who you are and then living more freely, have less to stress about. And yes, I have occasional bouts of, oh, what if I shouldn't have said this because I just tried to be me. I still think about those, but on the whole, I think I'm caring less about what other people think of me and trying to live freely, trying to be who I am wherever I go. My other strategy is 5-year mantra. I had a colleague who once shared a story with me. He went for a regular checkup with his GP, a doctor, because he wasn't feeling well and he needed a work certificate for his absence. While he was at the doctor's, the doctor hinted that he's probably at the age where he needs to get a prostate check because, the chance of cancer increasing after a certain age. And what happened was that he was diagnosed with cancer. He survived the battle. He had to go through surgeries and other procedures, and what he learned at the end is that if something didn't matter in 5 years' time, it wasn't probably worth worrying about right now. And whenever I'm in a situation, unpleasant conversation or something happening at work or personal life, I always measure it up. Is this something I'm going to remember tomorrow, in a week time, in a year time? And a lot of things that I normally stress about, they don't pass that test. We often get trapped in our mind, getting worked up on something that happened a while ago, perhaps thinking of a situation that occurred that didn't go the way you planned or something you said. And one of the best remedies to get out of your mind is to start using your body. The gym became one of those remedies for me. Whenever I go there and I put this in my schedule, if it's in the morning or during lunch, or perhaps in the evening if I had no time during the day, I prioritize my workouts. And you don't have to go to the gym if it's not your cup of tea. Though I highly recommend it, because if you are in your 40s, the muscle mass, the synthesis degrades over time, and we start losing all the muscles that we need for stability when we get older. But even without going to the gym, you can find a way to use your body for things like running up the stairs instead of using an elevator, or taking a longer route to work by walking around the block, or take breaks in the middle of the day and go and have a quick walk in a park or somewhere near your office, so you don't sit next to your desk continually thinking about something that's causing you even more stress. What I also find after turning 40 is that our energy reservoir is getting smaller, and because of that, I prioritize the most stressful work at the time when I have the most energy. Normally it's something in the morning. Remember the expression from Brian Tracy, I think it was, book, eat that frog in the morning? That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And what I also found that compartmentalizing, I hate saying this word by the way, always gets me in trouble, it's something that I prefer doing. For instance, I will cluster my meetings on certain days, and if I need to do some creative work where I know that it's going to drain my mental energy faster, I'll do those in the mornings, and then perhaps having meetings or something that doesn't require creativity in the afternoon. And hopefully this is something you can do as well if your work allows you to do that. If you're running your business, for instance, like coaching, then you can have your coaching sessions first thing in the day and maybe do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And for your Thursday and Friday, you can focus on the marketing or anything else that doesn't require that mental concentration. When I was going through my burnout, I invested all of my time and energy into something that I love, my career, and I still love the industry and career that I have. But at the same time, that may be quite unbalanced. The monopod is much weaker construction comparing to a tripod, let's say. That's my camera sitting on when I'm talking to you. And having other pillars in your life will make you more resilient to stress. For instance, if you have your hobbies, you have your family and friends connections, that will make you a more rounded person. And with that sort of support you have in your life, you become kind of like a bamboo. Over winds and strong currents, or anything life throws at you, you can withstand that. But if all you have is your work, your mind going to be sitting there continuously. You don't have a distraction from the thoughts, the events of the day, and there's nothing else to really help you to unwind. So consider how your other areas of your life are performing. And with my clients, for instance, we do this what's called the wheel of life exercise, where we look at different areas of a person's life, their career, their finances, their well-being, their relationships, and score them based on how I think they're performing in those areas from 0 to 10. And what I find quite often, people who have an amazing running career, something else is missing. It's either the friendships, or it's either the health, or something else. And we have to find a way to balance this out. I'm not sure if this will make you invincible, but at least this way you can gradually make yourself more resilient to the stress factors in other areas of your life. My other tip is create a sanctuary at home. And I'm not talking about living on a beach or in mountains or in a castle looking beautiful forest, and that would be really nice, but most of us cannot afford it. We live in the cities, and what I'm talking about is to create a place of peace where you live. For instance, in my house, I try not to use really bright red colors. Most of my places They create a natural callus, and it's where I come back from work and unwind and relax. If I have to work from home, I have a separate corner for it, and it's sort of that's where all the work stuff happens. And everywhere else, my place is really about just relaxing and coming back to myself. My next tip, after you turn 40, to manage stress, you absolutely need sleep, and that's not negotiable. It has to be on your priority list, and you need to invest time to figure out what is it that is affecting your sleep if you don't get your 7 to 8 hours. Invest time in wellness trackers like I did in one of the recent videos you can check out here. There are some ways you can improve your sleep, like going to bed at the same time or finding time to unwind. Also, there are some supplements, that please talk to your doctor before you start taking anything. I personally take magnesium, and that really helps me to relax before going to sleep. But it absolutely have to be on your list for managing stress. There are experts out there who will tell you not to accept new work or new requests to reduce your load and deal with stress. And I'm sure the suggestions are valid, but one thing I struggled with quite a lot, and it's because of my ego, is not to accept help from others. And you'll be surprised how many people around you actually sympathetic and emotionally attuned and caring, and they will see the signs of you heading to a burnout. A number of times someone told me, "Hey Jay, I think you need to take a break," of "How you doing? Did you have lunch today?" I would just sort of say, "No, I'm good," and soldier on and just continue plowing through. But what I found out was that people would actually notice that I was stressed out. They noticed that I was heading to a burnout, and they try to help, but I just ignored those suggestions. And my recommendation to you, put your ego aside. If someone offers you help, have a chat with them. If even no one offers you help, perhaps that's a time for you to raise your hand and say, "Hey, I think I need someone to step in, and maybe we can split the load, or maybe I can do something differently here," and ask for suggestions. Don't be that guy who will wait till the last moment and find yourself outside of office building, overweight and smoking. It's all preventable. It all can be done way before the train gets off the rails. If you find this useful and you want to learn more about how to thrive after you turn 40 and how to manage stress, please check out my other videos, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Jay, and I will see you in the next one.